She sat back against the bed, the dim glow of the bedside lamp casting a soft light on her exhausted face, her swollen eyes a testament to sleepless nights. Her 9-month pregnant belly made every breath feel heavy, each movement a struggle. She had thought tonight would be just like the others, long, restless, filled with anxious thoughts about labor and motherhood. But at least she had one constant source of comfort, the presence of her husband, Mark. And then her phone buzzed on the nightstand. Sarah reached for it, her heart pounding as Mark's name lit up the screen. She answered immediately. "Hey, babe." Her voice trembled slightly. There was a pause before Mark spoke, his voice oddly detached, stripped of the usual warmth. "Sarah, I need to talk to you about something." A cold shiver ran down Sarah's spine. Something felt off. "What is it?" she asked, her fingers tightening around the phone. Mark hesitated for a second before letting out a breath. "Hey, I need some time for myself. The guys and I are taking a trip for a week. Just a little getaway before the baby comes. I need to relax for a bit." The words hit Sarah like a punch to the chest. "What?" he gasped. "Mark, I'm about to give birth. You can't just leave now." "Sarah, you'll be fine," Mark sighed, sounding as if he was explaining something to a stubborn child. "I've set everything up. Mrs. Helen from next door said she'd check in on you. The hospital is just a few minutes away. And I'll call you every day, okay?" A sharp pain twisted in Sarah's chest, not physical but emotional. The man she trusted more than anyone, the man she thought would stand by her side during this life-changing moment, had chosen to walk away, She fought to keep her voice steady. "You really think I can manage giving birth to our child alone? Without you?" Mark let out an exasperated sigh, as if she were being unreasonable. "Sarah, don't be dramatic." His tone was clipped, impatient. "I just need some space. Don't you get it? Once the baby is here, everything will change. This is my last chance to enjoy some freedom." Sarah gripped the phone tighter, tears slipping down her face. "A chance to enjoy freedom," she repeated, feeling as if a knife had been driven straight into her heart. "What about me, Mark? Don't I deserve rest? Don't I need someone by my side?" Mark sighed, clearly growing impatient. "Sarah, you're making this harder than it needs to be. We'll talk when I get back, okay?" She couldn't believe what she was hearing. "Mark, I'm begging you. I'm about to give birth to our child. Please don't abandon me right now." But instead of comfort, instead of regret, all Sarah got was a cold, emotionless response. "I need this, Sarah. I'll see you later." And then the call ended. Sarah stared at her phone, the screen now dark, but the weight of his words still hung heavy in the air. A chilly breeze slipped through the window, sending a shiver down her spine. She placed a hand over her belly, feeling the soft kicks of her daughter as if the baby could sense her pain. "I won't leave you, baby," she whispered, her voice breaking. She knew from this moment on she couldn't rely on Mark. He had made his choice, and now she would make hers. But before she could think of anything else, a sharp pain rippled through her lower abdomen. She gasped, clutching her belly. No, it couldn't be. There was no way the baby was coming this early. But the reality was clear. Amelia was on her way. And Mark was nowhere to be found, ***. Cloud with rain 3 a.m., the pain begins. Sarah clutched her belly as a sharp pain radiated from her lower back to her abdomen, making it impossible to stand upright. She took a deep breath, trying to calm herself, but panic was quickly overtaking her rational thoughts. "Whoa, this couldn't be happening. Not this soon, ***. She dragged herself toward the bed, her fists clenching as another wave of pain hit. This wasn't the false contractions her doctor had warned her about. No, this was real. With trembling hands, she reached for her phone and dialed Mark's number. He would answer, right? He would realize his mistake and come back, ***. But no. After 3 rings it went to voicemail. Envelope with arrow ***. Hey, this is Mark. I can't take your call right now. Leave a message after the beep. ***. Round pushpin beep. Sarah bit her lip to keep from crying. How could he do this to her? Mark, please pick up. I think I'm going into labor. I can't do this alone. She waited. Nothing. No reply. No call back. Another contraction hit, forcing her to double over, nearly falling off the bed. She couldn't wait any longer. She had to get to the hospital. Sarah stumbled toward the door, grabbing her coat, but every step felt like a battle. She couldn't drive like this, she needed help. Mrs. Helen. Mrs. Helen was her neighbor, a widow in her 60s who had always been kind to Sarah. She pounded on the woman's door, barely able to stay upright as the pain took over. Mrs. Helen, please open the door. Footsteps rushed toward the entrance. The door swung open, revealing the worried face of Mrs. Helen. Sarah. Good heavens, what's wrong? I think I'm in labor. Mrs. Helen didn't waste a second. She wrapped an arm around Sarah and helped her into the car. The vehicle sped through the empty streets, streetlights casting flickering shadows on the window. But Sarah couldn't focus on anything except the pain tightening around her body. Mrs. Helen tightened her grip on the steering wheel. Where's Mark? Why isn't he taking you? Sarah bit her lip, unable to stop the tears streaming down her face. He went on a trip. A heavy silence filled the car. Mrs. Helen didn't say anything, but Sarah could see her knuckles turning white as she clenched the wheel even tighter. You'll be okay, Sarah. I won't let you go through this alone. For a brief moment, Sarah felt a small sense of relief. She was here. But Mark wasn't. They reached the hospital in under 10 minutes. Sarah was rushed into the emergency room immediately. Voices swirled around her. Stethoscope, we have a 38-week pregnant woman in active labor. Stethoscope, her blood pressure is a little high, but she's stable. Stethoscope, prep the delivery room. She wanted to scream that she wasn't ready, but how could she stop this? Her body had already made the decision for her. Sarah gasped for air, sweat dripping from her forehead as the contractions intensified. I want my husband, she whispered, but no one heard her. No one could call Mark for her. No one could bring him back to her side right now. She was alone. Alone in the most important moment of her life. A young nurse grabbed her hand. You can do this, Sarah. Just focus on your breathing. She gave a weak nod, but the tears wouldn't stop falling. 6:15 a.m. The first cry echoed through the delivery room. Sarah opened her eyes, her heart swelling at the sound. A nurse gently placed her daughter into her arms. She was so tiny, so fragile, and so perfect. Welcome to the world, Amelia. Sarah pressed a soft kiss on her baby's forehead, but the ache in her heart remained. Mark should be here. But he wasn't. And she wasn't sure she even wanted him to come back anymore. Lying in the hospital bed, exhaustion darkened Sarah's eyes, but she never looked away from Amelia's delicate face. The baby slept peacefully in her arms, her tiny fingers wrapped tightly around Sarah's as if she knew her mother was the only one in the world who would protect her. And she was right. Sarah gently stroked her daughter's soft hair, love filling her chest, yet a hollow emptiness lingered within her. Mark should have been here. She had imagined this moment hundreds of times. Her husband holding her hand, whispering words of encouragement as she endured the pain of labor, then breaking into joyous tears as he saw their daughter for the first time. But reality was nothing like the dream. He wasn't here. And he had chosen not to be. As Sarah was lost in her thoughts, her phone buzzed on the bedside table. Mobile phone with arrow mark. She stared at the screen, her breath slowing. What did he want? Was he calling to ask if she had given birth yet? To pretend he was a good husband? Or to justify his disgraceful actions? Finally she pressed the answer button. Telephone receiver. Sarah. Are you okay? I just landed and I called you the moment I turned my phone on. The moment he turned his phone on. Sarah gripped the phone tighter. Mark's voice held no urgency, no real concern. Telephone receiver. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you. But you know I couldn't just miss this trip. I needed some time to relax before our baby arrived. You understand that, right? Asterisk. Sarah clenched her teeth. Did he really think she would accept this? Telephone receiver asterisk. I'm really sorry. But I'm here now. I'll be at the hospital soon. I can't wait to meet our daughter. Asterisk. For the first time since she had entered the hospital, Sarah laughed. Cold, bitter laugh. Telephone receiver asterisk. You'll be here soon. Asterisk, she repeated, her voice no longer trembling from pain, but from anger. Telephone receiver. Yes, Sarah, I want to be there for you and Amelia. Telephone receiver asterisk. You had your chance to be here, Mark. Asterisk. She took a deep breath. It was time for him to face the consequences of his choices. Telephone receiver asterisk. But you didn't choose your family. You chose a vacation. You chose your friends. You chose to have fun while I was alone in a hospital room, in pain, bringing our child into this world. You missed the most important moment of our lives. And now you think you can just walk in and fix everything. Asterisk. Silence. Telephone receiver asterisk. Sarah. I know I made a mistake, but asterisk. Telephone receiver asterisk. There's no but, Mark. I went through this alone. And now so will you. Asterisk. She hung up. Sarah let the phone slip from her fingers and closed her eyes. A cold breeze drifted into the room through the open window, but she didn't feel it anymore. She had made her decision. Mrs. Helen had helped her clean up the house, setting up a cozy little nursery for Amelia. As she stepped inside, Sarah felt a shift in the atmosphere. This was no longer a home for a couple. This was a place where a strong mother would raise her daughter, asterisk asterisk. And then Mark showed up. He walked in with a large bouquet of roses, a nervous smile tugging at the corners of his lips. But it was too late. Sarah, I'm so sorry. He stepped closer, reaching for her hand. She took a step back. Mark, you don't live here anymore. This is my home. Amelia's home. Not yours. His eyes widened. What are you saying? I'm her father. Sarah nodded, her voice eerily calm. Yes. But a father doesn't abandon his wife when she needs him the most. A father doesn't put his own entertainment above his family's safety. A father shows up. Mark hesitated, scrambling for words. I'll do better. I swear. Sarah smiled. A smile devoid of any love. No need. You had your chance. And you lost it. She reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. This is the divorce agreement. Mark's face turned pale. Sarah, you're not serious. She met his eyes, unwavering. I've never been more serious in my life. Sarah never went back to Mark. She didn't need him anymore. She found strength within herself, joy in the little moments with Amelia. The sleepless nights, the first giggles, the unsteady first steps. She had all of it without him by her side. Because she made it through on her own. This story isn't just about Sarah. It's about anyone who has ever been abandoned when they needed someone the most. Fire, have you ever experienced a betrayal like this? Fire, if you were Sarah, what would you have done? Fire, do you believe someone can truly change after hurting you this way? Speech balloon, drop your thoughts in the comments. Pushpin, don't forget to like and subscribe for more powerful real-life stories. Sparkles, remember, no one has the right to make you feel alone in your own story rocket.